What's up, WWE Champions Universe? Welcome to Champions Chat, the fastest growing podcast dedicated to the WWE Champions mobile app. I'm Montez Ford, Rusty Graves, and with me, as always, Angelo Dawkins, Lee Brown. We're the Street Profits. What's up, Lee?
What's up, Rusty? You know, I actually saw a whole thing. I don't remember if it was on the WWE network, Peacock stuff, but it was an explainer for what We Want the Smoke was. And it's all based. I thought it was a reference to something else. Let's just
MJ.
say, yeah.
The wacky tobacco is what you thought.
But no, it's actually a reference to The Rock. It was do you smell what The Rock is cooking? And they
Really?
pictured the smoke coming off of something that's been so cooked. It's like, we want the smoke, we want the heat, we want that, yeah. So maybe they were diverting, but yeah.
Can I just say this? So yeah, if we're gonna talk about the Street Profits for a second, like, what are they now? Like, what? Like, it doesn't quite make sense. Like, are they a tag team? Are they a title contender for the like? We could get to WWE TV in a little bit. At the end of basically our show notes are this. Right, we're going to talk about this new Retro Rewind MLC. We're going to talk about some of the new plates and the Superstar reworks we're seeing. We're going to talk about prize walls and milestones and spending, the ever popular topic, right? And if we have time for it, we're even going to connect on improving boss battle communication and collaboration before we get to WWE TV talk and say, what in the heck is going on with the worst division in all of wrestling, the tag team division? Why have they ruined tag team wrestling? That's our show notes for today.
There you go.
Well, Retro Rewind is here. We're 2 weeks into it now, and I've noticed people seem to have more MLC points typically. Now, when good things are happening in the game, a lot of times we're like, shh, don't talk about it. We don't want them to make it harder, right? But like, people seem to be on pace, right? The pace, if you will, that usually you're tracking. What is the pace, Lee? Normally you want to have what?
So it's a 5-week event. So that one's easy because it's 100K a week, right? Normally a 4-week event's 125K. But yeah, let's talk about pace, because I am on pace to finish the MLC in the next couple days. I've got over 400.
Don't tell, Scopely. Keep that secret. Keep it safe.
Keep it secret. Keep it safe. Thank you, Frodo.
As Lord of the Rings reference.
I'm I don't know how far over 400 I am, but I'm above 425. I could tell you that. So I have like less than a week's worth of points to get, and I'll be done 2.5 weeks at the latest into a 5-week event.
Follow-up question, because someone out there is watching or listening right now and go, how the heck did he do that? I'm not able to do that. How can he do that? He's a content creator. He must be getting secret promo codes or something, right? No. How is it that you've been able to do that feat? And how can we empower our listening audience to do the same?
I'm not getting bonus points that aren't available, that's for sure. I mean, there is just simply a lot more points available. There's been several things where either the last reward or the first set of bonus milestones that were achievable if you had the CSS were dropping 20K points. There were some spend events that gave you 50K points. That's half a week's worth that you could get relatively within reason, right? Not a massive whale, spend, but a bit of spend, a little bit that I did. So
you know what I noticed? You and I both did pulls recently, and I bought the pulls and I did them. Instant gratification is what I was going for. You said, I'm actually looking at the calendar. I'm going to save my pulls and I'm going to actually do them during I'm going to do them later. Like, so you had like delayed gratification that got you thousands and thousands of points that I did not get. even though we spent the same, right? So
Right.
tell us about that strategy.
Yeah, so the showdown event, I mean, I didn't know when they were coming, but I got some retro rewind pulls, the ones that are, not super expensive on the portal. I got some and waited. Initially I was like, "Ooh, okay, this week's loot would actually be that the one that when I got them would have been really good for me for characters I was missing, but I was going to strategically wait." Now, the loot was terrible this week for me. I mean, most of the characters in there were the ones that we got from RNG bags, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
the the big oopsie last week at the start of the MLC. So there weren't really any options for me to get new unless I got very lucky, which I did not. But because of that, I was able to not only hit the Puller's Paradise, also the This Is Your Moment, and I forget what the other one was, but the showdown itself, but I think that was the This Is Your Moment. But either way, there
Yeah,
was
you
like two or
triple
three
stacked
stacked
the
events.
events and I did
Right.
not. I
Yeah.
so here's the thing, right? Let's say your budget, you're listening and you're like, yeah, I do $20 a week, or I do $5 a week, whatever it is, right? I do X amount of pulls. It's my fun money, it's
Right.
entertainment. Um, maybe don't do that Friday when you get off work by default, like I do. Like
Right.
I love to do pulls when I'm feeling blue, right? when I need a little endorphin interjection, right? Um,
Emotional pulling.
yeah, I'm really tapping to raise my joy level, that bag opens.
Wow.
But what you're saying is like, and I know you for the longest time, you're like, I have X amount, I budget
Mhm.
on per month per MLC. So you're saying like if somebody does have like a set amount that they're typically spending on pulls, that there
Yeah.
is actually a best time to do that. If if
Yeah, yeah, I
I'm if I'm
mean,
not mistaken.
it goes back to what Merrick's has said on his streams for years now is don't spend unless there's a guarantee. So what that means is, like you don't spend based on I might magically hit that one mythical character that is a 1 in a million chance,
That's
right?
exactly my strategy. Like that is literally why I that is
Right.
literally why I do it. Right.
Right. Like, because you're telling me there's a
You're telling me there's
chance.
a chance. I'm gonna get
Right.
him. Yeah.
But whereas I did not get a new character, so to speak, from the way I did it, I got just from that one event or that stacked event, something like 75,000 MLC points. So
Right.
I'm
Which
I'm guaranteed,
means, right. That's what I'm saying. Which means those pulls may not have had a cool payout in the moment,
Right.
yet they will lead to the unlocking of heavy metal Rhea Ripley,
Yeah.
which
Yep.
is what we're hearing from and what the other content creators have said is like, this is probably the best feuding female in the game.
She's
Um,
up there.
and
Yeah.
I'm quoting them. I didn't do a
Right.
Rhea preview. I watched Lee's.
I did.
I messed
Yeah.
around with her and I said, this is too big brain for me. I need somebody who's better than just clicking the button to figure this
Right.
out. And so my Rhea build was like, it was like triple black. It was like, this will work. This will work.
Right.
And then you have
Well,
like,
if you watch Goldie's video, she did the Rhea Dripley video and,
oh wow.
triple black drip plate.
Yeah.
Of course,
Oh, and
I don't
I
have one
have
of
no
those.
drip. I'm
I don't
dripless,
either.
so I wouldn't even,
Yep.
yeah, I wouldn't even get the same result as the golden one.
Right.
Well, we are talking about spending a little bit, and something that has come up a lot in this MLC is uh, the surprise anniversary. I want to say birthday. Are they called birthday or anniversary? Birth anniversary. The
Birth
surprise
anniversary.
reworked superstars that the game champions is rolling out
Right.
without any notice. The other night I was on stream with Merrick's and Natalia was released. We didn't even know it to announce
Right.
it to the community until moments before. They were like, oh, by the way, tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern or 9 p.m. Eastern, like were it was like 8:58. It was like
Yeah.
moments, literally moments
Right.
before, and they wanted us to announce it. It was news to us. You got the
Right.
free 5-star superstar on the portal. Yesterday, we got a free, just to celebrate Black History Month, free Rocky Soul Man. Super cool, unexpected.
Yeah.
And yet, even when this game gives us free things, cool things, the conversation seems to drift towards, well, now I have to spend all these resources to level up the superstar that I may not actually like. And then the last milestone you have to spend to get it. Right. And so it's just
Right.
like, bro, they just gave you a free OP infinite
Rework.
sub damage rework, of
Yeah.
the fuse in it. Let me get your feedback on that. I think I just let my cat out of the bag about how I'm feeling.
Oh,
But let's let your cat out of the bag a little bit.
cats and bags.
Don't put a cat in a bag, first
Don't
of
put a
all.
cat in
Don't
the
be a
bag.
very
Yeah.
unhappy cat. That's
That's a
inhumane. That is a
right.
PETA violation.
Yeah. I was once in a classroom with one of the teachers who was referencing the fact that there was a lot of song people, like musicians in the
Yeah.
room, and the way that he expressed that was, you couldn't swing a bag of cats around in this room without hitting a musician. I was just like, what? Where did that become a
Mm,
saying?
never own a bag of cats or create one would be the Champions Chat advice. So
Never create a bag of cats. That's our
never,
next t-shirt. We don't have any t-shirts.
never,
Anyway,
never.
davd.redbubble.com for your DVD merch. That's the closest. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, so Andre, for example, I uh famously just did the feud, Flash Feud, Talent Up, and took Showboat, the Judgment Day Finn. Sorry, I about to say Showboat Miz. That's not the right one. Showboat Judgment Day Finn to 6-star, YOLO'd him all the way, used up most of my tokens, with
Yeah.
leaving just enough for William Regal this coming Talent Up. See you
Right.
Monday. And that was it, right? And so when Andre hit, I could not take him. I had no path other than spending, and I do spend, but I wasn't going to spend on that. Like,
Right.
not that it's a bad thing, I just couldn't do it. So the idea is, you're getting stuff free, but if you want the big carrot being a guaranteed 6-star silver pull, then you're going to have to take each of these 7 characters to 6-star bronze. But here's the deal, you don't have to do that, right? Even without taking them to 6-star bronze, you're going to get 7 plates if you can beat, 7 of the new plates.
Right.
Not guaranteed to be all 7 of them because it's RNG. You'll get duplicates and stuff like that. But you're going to get 7 free plates. You're going to get 7 reworked characters who, I don't know about you, my Showboat Andre was 4-star bronze, and my Showboat Natalia was, I'm sorry, my Trickster Natalia was 4-star
Three.
silver.
Mine was 3-star.
Yeah.
Like something. I mean, untouched. She was
Untouched.
horrible. I
Terrible.
mean, like the
Yeah.
time, she was the land that time had forgotten.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
of
And
course she's
now
good.
both of them are relevant. Like, they're not, oh, you said OP. I would argue they're not OP in any way, but they're definitely relevant. Like,
I,
definitely
I
not C tier anymore.
I think her sub move is
It's
not
strong.
commensurate. It's not commensurate to other female sub moves. In fact, it's stronger, at least from what I like. I was. I mean, even if people were beating Helmo with only taking her to 5-star silver, right?
Right.
They didn't
Right.
even have to push her to 6-star. You had to push Andre. She was
Yeah.
given a more powerful sub move than Andre the Giant, an iconic
The
figure in
original
wrestling
sub
history.
guy.
So
Yeah.
like I did think like, okay, she's actually, and if you're free to play, like she's a viable option.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
Yeah. 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 I mean, I agree. I mean, it's very strong, very, very strong. I wouldn't expect that she'll hold up the way that some of your rare weekend S tier
right,
characters, although
right.
the
But
Liv and the Cora we just got.
all I was gonna say is, but those characters are not on the roster
for
of the
most.
free
Yeah.
to play community
Right.
and or even the low end of the spending community. They're just
Right.
not there.
Right.
And so I'm a little defensive as to like the validity of this event as a person who was a 5-year free to
Right.
play player.
Yeah.
This is the
This is
stuff I used to
awesome.
dream of. This is the
That's right.
stuff that would have revolutionized my roster
Right.
1 year ago, pre
Right.
6-star meta. This
Right.
would have changed my entire path.
Yep. I agree. And let's not lose sight of the fact that you don't have to chase the carrot of the 6-star silver, right? Let's say you only hit 3 of these coins. And full disclosure, I did not get Andre's. I didn't take Andre's 6-star. I couldn't do it
Wow.
unless I spent. So I will not get the guaranteed 6-star silver. That's just, it's not going to happen. I have 1 loot coin because I did take Natalia to 6-star, even though I needed those trickster tokens so bad. Anyway,
Rarely am I at a place in front of you in this game. And this is
this is
a
one.
little alarming to me. I'm not sure how to feel as
Right.
the roles have changed now. Who's the whale now?
That's
I'm
right.
more of an orc. No, I'm not even an orca. I was gonna say I'm more of a dolphin at this point. I'm more of
That's what Merrick's calls himself. Yeah.
a dolphin. Well, I'm not even a
Rex.
dolphin. I might what's that? What's the one on a
Porpoise?
Finding Dory that
You're the dad from Modern
yeah,
Family.
the white he's got the big dome
Right.
and he has, oh gosh, I gotta look up what kind of
You
go
have to
ahead.
find what that is,
Yeah,
but
you keep
yeah.
going.
Who's the whale now, son? Anyway, yeah, but here's the trick. So you're talking about free to play. So let's say you could, out of 7, take 2 to 3 as a free to play player to get that coin. You just got yourself 3 guaranteed 6-star characters.
Right.
They're not guaranteed to be good, but again, if you are struggling to get 6 stars on your roster, this is a cheat code, right? So should you prioritize this? Yes, I would consider possibly ruining your talent up plans, as I have in the past,
Yeah.
to take these characters to 6-star and get as many of those coins as possible. Because the only parallel I can think of is the Black Fatu Day event. And I did spend, in fact, I spent Christmas money, my birthday money, and a little bit of my own money. I did like 2 mega pulls and a couple $20 pull. Like that was among the highest I've spent in one shot ever in the game. And I was guaranteed to get, I think, 3 6-stars out of it, maybe 4. And the ones that I got weren't new and they weren't roster changers for me. But that's the kind of, like, that's what we're talking about, that something I just theoretically spent, let's say $250 on, which is, oh my gosh, I can't do that. Now you can do it for free if you just take up a couple of characters, 3 characters, 4 characters, whatever you can do, and get these birthday pulls.
And yeah. So, okay, the character's name in that movie was Bailey, and he was a beluga whale. That's what I was researching.
Beluga.
Going on here, the boo.
Yeah. Beluga
But
rusty.
not only is there a chance for you to get the free, or you've earned it, you've worked for it, the free 6-star silver, right?
The grindable, let's just say
right,
grindable
yes,
6-star.
grindable.
Yeah.
And you obviously you've put resources into that,
Right.
but there's also, right, the other coins that you earn in this event. So if there's 7 total, that's 6 other 6-star superstars, right? Are they guaranteed 6-star when you pull?
What other coins?
The all of your coin, the loot that it's going to cost to buy the birthday pull. How many characters do you get out of that?
You get 1 per pull, and you get
Right.
7 chances on by
Yeah.
taking people up to 6-star.
Right.
So, yeah.
Redeeming the birthday loot also gets you more, right?
Not that I've seen, but
no, the pull itself, you spend the coin in the loot, and then what do you get out of the loot? A superstar.
Right. I'm slightly confused. I mean, that's the way polls work, Rusty. Are we explaining the way polls work? I'm confused.
All I was saying is that in addition to the people that are chasing the 6-star silver, right? They're going to get everything else that isn't 6-star silver, but that's still redeemable from that loot. So
I see what you're saying.
You're not spending 7 coins on 1 superstar. You're spending 7 coins on 7 superstars. That's what I'm trying to emphasize, right? And so yeah, exactly.
I got you.
if you're just listening on audio, it's we're doing the beluga whale. You touch your head and you send a sonar signal. But yes, what I'm saying is that there will be a payday for everything you earn. Right? It is commensurate to how much you grind. Yes. That's all. That's all I'm saying.
I'm with you.
So you're getting the one free 5-star and you're getting the one free loot coin for each
one that you take to 6-star.
Yes. And you're getting the one plate for each hell mode you beat.
Right. Without a 6-star or with a 6-star.
That in and of itself is incredible. Regardless if you don't have all 7. That's what I'm trying to say, is that there is a lot of resource regardless of how far you can go in this contest. That isn't always true of every contest. There isn't a lot of resource in every contest. There isn't.
That's right.
Yes. So that's all I'm not trying to be a Scopely bootlicker. I'm saying that, like, for what you have to do, you get a lot back for doing it. And that isn't true of every contest. This contest is particularly generous in celebration of the 7-year anniversary. And the plates are good. I got the vintage glamour plate week 1, and I put it on my zombie Dom. And now in triple yellow, when I make green, and now I'm refilling the yellow, suddenly Zombie Dom can do something he's never been able to do hefore: recycle his yellow move set, which is, I don't know about you, but he's one of, if not the best, boss battle defense superstar that I have.
And this boss battle in particular, he is, I don't know about you, but the top guy I saw consistent. Even Zombie Sammy, I didn't see hitting like Zombie Dom. All of us said Zombie Sammy was going to be the top guy for this. Maybe he was, maybe the one, because I don't have him. I'm 200 charge short, but maybe the ones on our team who have been running him haven't been running him to his full potential. But Zombie Dom was mopping the floor with this boss where nobody else was.
And especially, I mean, like, particularly if you had Ray in the entourage, and even more so if you had the all heart plate, then he's just he's just wiping it up. I like the new plates. Do you? I mean, do you think these new plates are worth playing for? They're just MP plates, right? So they're not making a ton of new stuff. But to me, if these plates can help a superstar that had 0 recycling ability now suddenly recycle, he is a heck of a lot more useful to me than beforehand.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Like, for example, the La Familia plate with Acro Dom, unless you have the La Familia plate, Acro Dom just does not live up to his potential in the same way he could. This is potentially that, right? These are 7 plates that were just the basic color MP fills. Like, these are the most OG plates of all. But we've been missing all 7 of this combinations. Which means that now every character, Sir Zoro's back from his little hiatus, and I can't wait to see like the 17 characters that he comes up with that are like, oh my gosh, look, if you just have this plate, suddenly they do this amazing thing. Benny's Smaja's Gaming's already posted some stuff. Goldie's already posted. Of course, Natalia being her, that was the Goldie win right there. I mean, Showboat Andre with the plate became even better.
Well, not only the plate, but also the rework sub move that now increasingly recycles. Like, it creates a colored sub move, right? So the these rework superstars are not just they're not just throwing more power level into them, they're throwing
Right.
more intelligent
Usability.
design, more
Yeah.
intelligent design into them, which I really appreciate.
Yeah.
And I have pretty high hopes for a few that might be getting a rework. And Lee
We
and I
shared ours.
both
Yeah.
have said for as long as we've known each other, why the heck can't we get a usable AJ Styles out of this game? Why
Yes,
why
please.
do the devs have a grudge against AJ to where they continue to make um
C tier and
important
lower.
important trainer AJs that have
Right.
really poor usability as
Right.
yeah, like non-viable in game other than
Right.
Entourage. So
Give me a retro powerhouse AJ Styles. That's what I want. I mean, come on. Actually, I
ooh,
I want two more women. I want there to only be one more male character this month. But anyway, that's a side story.
yeah,
But yes, these characters are very viable again. Andre is feudable on some level again. I mean, he's definitely not going to be your best showboat. He's not going to be your best sub guy, but
he
he
may be your
is
best
in the
Andre.
conversation.
He may
Yeah,
be your best Andre,
absolutely. If you
especially
don't
if you're
have
free
drip
to
plate, I
play.
think he is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, because
Um,
most people aren't going to have Tech Andre. Most people don't have Striker Andre, although he's the new Striker Andre. Although he's coming along.
he's in this
You've had
month's
him.
bags. So if you hit that
It's possible.
the collection, the
Right.
VHS tapes, right? He is winnable in the bags from that event, the
Right.
bags that are falling out of the
Right.
sky. Let me ask
Yeah.
you this.
Yeah.
Okay, so here, yeah, out of the sky, right? So here's the thing that I am hearing, and I think there's a lot of validity to it, though, is like, okay, you give me this superstar, you ask me to level him up, and I'm dumping resource into him. I'm beating the Hell Mode Tour, and
Mhm.
yet the last milestone is kind of a feel bad, right? You're
Mhm.
dangling a premium
Mhm.
plate in front of me now as the last milestone. And even though you've just given me a free plate, which I may or may not be able to use, or may not be
Right.
redundant to one I've already gotten,
Right.
now you're tempting me to buy a mega pool at $99 American and saying, well, there's also a chance that you could get like the Titan plate out of this.
Right.
There's also a chance that you could get one of the
Top plates.
top shelf, right? High
Right.
reach plates.
Yep.
Is that good or bad for the community's perception of this event?
Well, I think we need to measure our expectations to understand that even when we're doing a largely free to play event, there has to be a spend component for Scopely to survive. It is a business,
Mm.
right? And so the fact that only one milestone is unattainable and it is clearly marked as a bonus milestone. So you know bonus
It
means
reminds me of
spend.
the talent up. It's
Yeah.
like, but it's the last one.
But it's a lot. Yeah, but I gotta check off the box.
I want to
I get
max
you.
it. I want to
I
max
get you.
it. I want that sense of accomplishment.
Right. I
Right.
get you, but there always needs to be something that's for spenders. Like that's how the game is going to survive as, unless it goes to an ad-based thing or something, that's how the game is going to survive. That's how it thrives, right? And so I have no begrudging on that as long as it's fair. And to me, this feels like it's more than fair that whoever plays with resources free to play, even if you can't take everybody 6 star, you're at least getting a plate, you're at least getting a reworked character that now might suddenly be better than what you
Right.
were investing in before. And if you want to spend, you have RNG on a plate. And let me just tell you, it's still RNG because I haven't spent to get one of those bags, but I've done similar ones before in recent months,
Yeah.
and RNG was terrible to me. Like
Oh
literally,
no.
like I got
Oh
nothing
no.
good. So it's still a chance, but there, of course, what drives us is that FOMO. What drives us is that, oh, there's a chance that that one plate that I'm missing out of that bag, or whatever, could change everything. Last time there was one of those bags, I got the striker KO plate, and as far as I can tell, I haven't played with it much, and I don't have the new Striker KO. I don't think I can use it really functionally on anybody but him. So if I
Um,
ever get him, maybe I
Tech,
will.
the wrestler that I do not like and have never liked that is was a UFC heavyweight champion at one point. I won't even say the scoundrel's name, but I think that plate
We don't
works on
talk about
him.
Bruno.
Yeah, I think that plate works on him on
Oh,
tech on the tech version that makes all of the immobiles from the green sub. And
there we go.
I think it makes him
Pretty
pretty
strong.
yeah, pretty strong.
Well, I have an emotional quandary on that one. Then I may,
I know.
yeah, I may just leave that and then just wait for KO. But anyway, other better topics with that. So let's talk about spend and the
Yeah, I mean,
current event.
yeah, we went there, right? We're talking about spending, we're talking about milestones, and I think what's tied to those spending and milestones typically is a prize wall, right?
Yeah.
You got thoughts on
Yes.
uh a prize wall, attainability,
Yes.
unattainability? Is the
Yes.
spending commensurate to what's being offered in the prize wall? And we have a fairly, I would say we have a fairly optimistic view of the game, and so just know that we're not bitter betties as we do this next part. If something less than positive does come up, disclaimer.
Gotta
So
be honest. We
yeah,
got
for
to be
sure,
honest.
for
And
sure.
here's the thing with prize walls. So, yes, I've gone from mostly free to play a few years ago to spending some to spending more as I've been able to. Prize walls have always been a source of frustration to me because
Hmm.
there appears to be things that are attainable. You're not talking, you've got your like things that cost, let's say 10 or 15, 20 prize wall coins for that or
Right.
tokens. And then you've got this tier that's like, let's just say it's
700.
around 100 or 200 or something like that. And then there's ones that are like 5,000. So
Yeah.
in your
Yeah.
mind, you're going from 0 to 5,000. I should probably average somewhere at like 40% of that. So I should have 1,200, prize ball coins or something like that. And the reality is you end up with like 100. You
Right.
end up with the ability to get the lowest category, and that is it. So for me,
Yeah.
prize walls aren't balanced
Well
usually.
said.
Now, they have done some things like, for example, one of the recent prize walls had an extremely attainable 6-star Hall of Fame Nikki Bella. Now, Hall of Fame Nikki Bella is not good. She's not
Bro,
a world changer, but I saw
hang on.
so many posts of
She's
people saying
terrible.
this is my first 6-star.
Okay, no, that's good. That's good. Thank you. You totally redeemed yourself.
I was just finish
I
the
was like,
sentence. I got it. I got
I
it.
felt like I was doing a pretty hard sell on Natalia, but for you to bring up Nikki Bell, I was like, bro, we've just lost all credibility
Right.
in the community.
She is not good. But if she's your only 6-star female, suddenly you have a 6-star female. So
Right.
that's great. So let's
And a
talk about
Hall
the
of
prize
Famer,
wall
right?
and
So
Hall of
double,
Fame. Yeah.
it hits two categories.
Double dip, yeah.
Yeah.
So let's talk about the current prize wall as an
Oh,
example. As we're recording this, the Rock's election campaign, whatever it is going on.
yeah.
And I looked at that prize wall and again saw, okay, there's econ that as Goldie calls it, that is 12, 15, 17 of these little medallions.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can get that. But then I saw there are certain superstars that are in the 2 to 400 range where you can get a gear and
Yeah.
they're not world changing characters. I don't mean to besmirch
Yeah.
Grayson Waller,
I was about to say, like, what, but
but
I think a few of those gear do make that superstar.
right.
Oozing Machismo is one example where I
Yeah,
was like,
you
if
need his
I could
gear.
get that gear,
Right.
he might be my best tech. I don't know. Like, because tech's not the best feud based on feud and feud
Okay.
speed. I was
Right.
like, that might be my tech feuder if I could get that gear.
Right.
Maybe. Yeah.
Right. And then you've got the prize. Like I looked at that and went, oh my gosh, I would desperately love to have William Regal's, even just one of his gears, right?
Yeah.
But I knew at the pricing it was, that's going to be a spend. But the reality is, once you broke down the math on it, and you can talk
Oof.
about this in a second,
We did. We did
it,
the
it's
math.
it's not good. Like you're not even like I did everything already. Like I've maxed the event, not into the bonus milestones because I spent a bit, but it was I like did a couple pulls basically like to
You got all
offset
your
something.
23s? You got all four 23s?
I got all 423. I maxed the showdown event or the boss battle event pretty quick. That was done.
I
I
did.
did the tours. I was
I
missing a little
did.
bit of CSS, but I grinded. So I'm only missing like the top hell mode with both CSS because all I have is blue chipper Rocky, and I'm not gonna beat a 6-star with him.
Same.
I'm not gonna do it. I couldn't
Yeah.
do it, but it would just be an exercise in frustration. So I got everything that was available free to play, right? And
Yeah.
I spent 2 pulls, so
Well, what's your
$4 or
token
whatever it
and what's your
was.
token count? Do you
I have
remember?
100. So I
Mm.
am able right now to buy the cruddy Trickster Asuka's gear that makes her better, right?
Is that the
So,
trickster Oscar or is that the acro Oscar?
no, that's Trickster. It's the Chase. That was the NXT gear that they released.
I don't even have trickster Oscar, just for the
Well,
record.
you're not missing much aside from her training ability.
Well,
Training ability,
she's
phenomenal.
I think I'm going to be able to get her if everything stays on pace. I
Yeah.
think I'm going to be able to shard recruit Rhea. That's how generous this
Okay.
month has been
Oh
because
yeah.
I'm the guy, right? 6 months ago, I'd never maxed an MLC. Now I've maxed consistently
Right.
everyone through the tips and tricks that we share on this show.
Yep.
And basically why we started the podcast was for Lee to teach me publicly how to max MLCs, and so then everyone else benefits from it. But I think if
Nice.
if I shard recruit Rhea, then I'm going to get the coins, and like I think Trickster Asuka would be the play there, right?
Yeah, I agree.
So grabbing her gear, if I'm confident I can do that, grabbing her
Right.
gear seems like a get,
It
or not,
is.
or
It
is it just a
is.
waste?
Well, so the thing is she's not a great fighter even with the gear. I would imagine they'll release another gear down the road if they really feel like they need to invest in her. But I mean, the community has largely spoken that her and Thrasher are, I mean, of the chase characters we've received, they are the bottom
Right.
of the bin for the last
Asuka
couple of years.
Asuka is the
So
female in game that has consistently gotten the AJ Styles treatment in
yeah,
game, where this is a
yeah,
world heavyweight champion
right.
that was the longest reigning female champion in NXT, and yet
Yeah, undefeated.
we can't seem to like create
Right.
a
Can't create a good
you
one.
know, an S tier Asuka.
Right.
Like that's unfair.
Right.
So
Well, but let's talk to the prize wall stuff though, real quick. So let's say that's the absolute best you get, and it's got a big asterisk beside it, right? It's like, well, I guess I will take this. So for free to play and grinding, I think the prize walls are horribly unbalanced. There should be something in that middle tier, that middle section, where if you grind, if you max the event, if you get everything except the bonus milestones, you can get something. And maybe the argument Scopely would give is, we're giving you Trick Asuka's gear. What else do you want? Braun Strowman shards. Okay, I will admit, Monster Bomb Braun Strowman shards, if you don't have him,
right.
grab them because it says there's going to
Yeah.
be more available.
I don't
Go.
have him. And so
Go.
that
Right.
was my thought, is are they doing what they did with Tatanka with Braun Strowman? I'm about
Yes.
2,000 shards short of Braun. So 500,
That's your play.
That's a hit, you know?
Yeah. I think
and
there would be enough potentially for you to recruit him, and he would be, I mean, he is top tier
I
powerhouse.
only have, I'm
So.
doing it right now. I literally just claimed, look, boing.
Look at that. Rusty's listening.
Okay, but I only had like 75 shards or 75 medallions.
Right.
So I wasn't even to the Oscar gear yet. And
if
I don't
you can
know
get
that
Braun, it's a better play.
I did. I got him. I got the Braun.
Well, but
shards.
I mean, like if you can recruit him,
shards.
That's the better place. So, but let's talk about the top end of the prize wall. So my idea was there's these 400, right? And then there's like 800 and above things to get to. So you and Professor on stream, he leading the stream, you in the comments.
Should we share this? I don't know if this is worth sharing. We did the math.
You were there.
We did the math.
You did the math. Share the math. Don't withhold
so I was like,
information.
basically I was like, bro, I want that gear. We didn't even say which specific gear, but I was
It
like,
was Grayson Waller's.
I'm eyeing the gear. I'm eyeing some of the top gear. What do
Right.
I need to get it? And I said, you know, if we max boss battle, if we max the tours, if we have
Mhm.
based on the RNG from the bags, the medallions, like how many pulls would one have to do to actually get that gear, or
The
essentially
mid-tier
how many
options.
how many megas
Yeah.
would I have to buy? And based on the random number generator of what's in the bag, it would have taken 4 or 5 minimum megas to get that gear. Let's say if I
That's
wanted oozing,
insane.
if I wanted oozing machismo, I'm basically looking at a price tag of $400 to $500, you know,
Right.
to make Razor, you know, potentially my best trickster in
Yep.
feuds. Maybe,
Yep.
right?
So
But if I
that's
wanted that
insane.
Regal gear, which is even the next level up, right? We're talking
It's double
even
the
more.
coin need. So it would
Yeah.
be like 10 megas.
If I needed both Regal gears,
Right. You're out
you're
a
at a
lot. I mean, it's
$1,000+.
right. So again, we're going to clip this out separate so that you can see just this portion of the conversation. But earlier, I defended the fact that they need to have some things that are spend, like even big spend. Like
Yeah.
I threw some suggestions Scopely's way for some things that would be in the game that would be like this needs, like because of what it is, if you ever did this, it needs to be in that upper echelon where only a few people are going to be able to spend to get it. And that's okay. There should be some things like that.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about the prize wall, if I've done the entirety of an event, and I'm talking everything but bonus milestones, everything but
Right.
spend or light spend, because I did a couple, I mean, I'm not talking about a couple mega pulls, like I did literally a couple pulls, one, two, on there. I should have some reward that feels worth that chase. And when there is, I guess I'll take Oscar's shards, right? Again, for somebody who's maxing the events, so maybe this is a different perspective because for you, Braun, getting Braun would be huge if you could shard recruit him.
Yeah.
But for somebody who's already got chase characters and stuff, it really feels like I'm like, oh, I guess I have to take Oscar's gear, and that sucks. Versus
Mm.
there should be a feeling of like, oh my gosh, there is some like mid-level reward, right? It's not famine or feast, right? There should be some mid-level reward where I feel like, ooh, that was worth my time. And
Yeah.
most of the time, prize walls as they sit do not feel worth my time. Now, again, let me caveat because I'm being honest and positive and constructive. When they've thrown in things like Nikki Bella, again, that didn't benefit me, but I 100% when they throw in things like the
You
Braun
can
shards,
look, but you
that
can't
doesn't benefit me.
touch.
But it does benefit the overall community. And so I feel like those are wins. But there's just not enough on a prize wall. The
Um,
average prize wall, let me just put it this way. This is my summary statement. For the average prize wall, a player at my level who's encroaching into that 7.58 million roster, maxes
higher
most
than
events
Beluga. He's
higher
higher
than
than Beluga.
Beluga.
I'm Beluga. He's higher than Beluga. So
Whenever a prize wall pops up, I assume that I will get nothing. I
mm,
assume that there will be nothing that interests me or benefits me at all other
right.
than settling
Now, there's
for
one part
some
of this
econ.
conversation that we have to take into consideration, and I don't think you've been completely fair yet. And I agree with
Okay.
everything you just said. There should be
But
rewards commensurate with how hard you play and how much you spend. Totally agree. Who would not agree with that? A lunatic, maybe. One thing we've not considered would be, hey, friendo, you're forgetting about the contest milestones and rewards that are embedded in the event already, right? And
sure,
so a prize wall is
is a bonus milestone.
in addition
Mm,
to all of the contest rewards as well. Um,
yeah.
now, now that I've kind of volleyballed that your way, how would you respond to that? Let's say
Yeah.
someone high up at Scopely, I don't know, and I'm just
Sure.
making this up. What if that was their response to you? Well, hey,
Yeah.
friend, you got to think about the actual contest points,
Right.
the milestones, the event milestones, what you're getting, like all of the chests and bags that you've opened along the way to get the
Right.
currency for the prize wall. What does that mean? Nothing to you?
No, yeah, that's a good rebut, and I appreciate that because yes, that is a that's fair. That is fair to say like, okay, they've got all of these things that are already in there. Do we just are we just greedy children who expect everything? Okay, that's fair. But a prize wall is a different thing
Yeah.
than the contest rewards. And when they
Right.
put a prize wall up, it is treated as special. It's like,
Yeah.
look, there's a prize wall.
Yep.
And when the dangling carrot is so far out of reach, instead of feeling special,
Right.
it feels painful. It feels
That's really
like I've
good.
lost something.
Could you
So if it's not
imagine?
there, I wouldn't be upset about it because there wouldn't be anything to chase with it. But when they put it there and it's like, look at all these great things,
Yeah.
you get the dirt to play in.
So how?
Okay.
So here, let me offer a suggestion to
Ooh,
the
because we need to be
community.
constructive, right?
And
Not
this may
just
be a
throw out our
terrible. This
anger.
may be stupid. I don't know, but like, imagine if you had to have the required currency to even see what was available at that tier of the prize wall. Now, almost like a private room that you're allowed to look in the showcase of, right? That would, for me, two here's two thoughts. Number one, I would be totally fine, like a peep show, right? I'd be totally fine if
I didn't say it.
all prize walls went away and
Ooh,
the
I
contest,
like prize walls.
but I would be okay if they just went away and the milestones and the rewards and the bags and the chests and the loot, if the loot was just as rewarding, if all of the compensation came simply by claiming your milestone and contest points. And if that
But
gear,
Rusty,
listen, let's put that gear in the far away milestone, bonus, right? That regal gear that you want, put it in like the 30th bonus milestone. And if you go for it, you can get it. Or
but
I would be totally fine. And maybe this is a solution. If you actually had to, if the prize wall was on a pull down, you don't have to see it. And if you know you only have X number of medallions, you're like, I'm not even going to click it. Because you know what it's going
right,
to do? It's going to create a FOMO. It's going to
FOMO,
create stress. It's going to
right,
tempt me to spend. It's going to reinforce it's going to devalue everything that I've just earned in the game. I don't even want to see it. I'm not even looking.
yeah.
I'm not even clicking the shop. I don't need to shop. I've got sufficient payout from the contest and I don't need that. I would be. How does that feel to you? Or like respond to some
But
of that.
but Rusty, the
Right.
one good thing about prize walls is you get to choose. It's not just RNG. Like
Okay.
that's where it really hits hard and hits home is that everything else is RNG. And with this one thing, I get to say, I choose you, Grayson Waller gear.
Sure.
I choose you, William Regal gear, or whatever. So it's the one thing where you actually get to
Yes.
go, oh, I can, this one thing I've been missing, and I have a way to get it. Whereas RNG bags, we just know, well, it's one in a zillion, so I'm not going to
Right.
get it, or
No,
whatever.
that's good.
So that is the benefit of prize wall, and that's why they hit so hard with me, is
Hmm.
because finally I have a choose your own adventure option in front of me,
Right.
but it's just nothing. Like, and again, if I weren't maxing events, I would expect, in fairness, that the only thing I can get is a little bit of coin, a little bit of TP, whatever. Like
Yeah.
that seems realistic, if not fair. But if I am maxing events but not spending, there needs to be a bigger middle tier available of some things that maybe aren't the new hotness. Maybe it's older gear, but even if it was gear for an older character that I'm like, oh my goodness, you know what? I'd take that. I'd go for that. But one Oscar option as opposed to
Sure.
3, 4, 5 things that are for that middle band. And
Yeah.
as to the
No,
other
that's
piece, the
great.
drop
That's a
down menu
great
is
thought.
kind of the way it is.
More options. That's a
Yeah,
great
just
thought.
more options for the middle guy,
I
right?
would I think it would be cool if it was, let's just say, gold, silver, bronze,
Yeah.
doors, gold, silver, bronze doors that you open or that
Okay.
you unroll, pull down tabs.
I'd be
Where
fair
if
with
it said
that.
like gold door,
Right.
500 plus medallions required,
Right.
right? I'm not going to even look in the gold door if I've got 70 medallions, right?
Yeah.
Or
I
I'm
would,
going
but
to, and I'm going to go, dang, there's some really good stuff in there. Maybe I'll try harder on the next contest, right?
right.
Or, but again, it's not going to make me feel bad, right? It's not going
Yeah.
to make me feel bad. It's not going to
Right.
say, same thing, silver door. Oh, I'm not, I
Yeah.
could. It's the same way on Discord. You can choose to avoid your faction's
The
brag
brag
room.
room.
You don't
Yeah.
have to go in there. And I
Yeah.
know
That's a
guys
gold
that would say,
door.
I've muted the brag room. I cannot, it's
Right.
not good for my mental health to even look in that brag room, right?
Right.
So then if I know I'm bronze door, I'm from 0 to 100 tokens,
Yep.
medallions. I can click the bronze. I can walk around the bronze
Yeah.
door room and I can go, hey, I've got 10 cool choices here
Right.
for 100 or less,
Right.
right? Um, that seems like a win-win-win, right? You
Win,
win,
win, win.
I win for
Thank
successfully
you, Michael Scott.
negotiating this conflict.
Yes.
So
So I think the solution, Scopely, I'm through the angst side of it. I'm into the constructive, let's build something together side of it. And I think the answer is gold, silver, bronze tiers. Like we have it in every other thing. We've got normal, we've got hard, we've got hell mode, we've got, that's kind of the way it's built. Right now it seems like there's sub bronze, there's dirt tier and there's mega tier. Like let's do something in between those so that again, I think it's fair to have to do multiple mega pulls to get something that is as powerful as
totally.
much as I want it as William Regal's gear, right?
If you want to spend,
But
awesome, right? It's
right.
just
So
like
gold
it's like the
tier
Apple
should
store.
be.
You can go in the Apple store for just headphones, right?
Right.
Who cares how many incredible other items that are there?
Right.
But you got to have line of sight focus on those,
Right.
that one charging cable you need. Like,
That's
or
right.
you're going to be miserable when you start looking at your
Yes.
phone and all the other new phones and all the new
Right.
laptops and all the new, and people getting help at the Genius Bar. And I didn't buy the Apple coverage. Oh man.
Right.
Oh man. So like, it's like the prize wall
Yes.
is literally like the digital equivalent of walking into the Apple store and only
There you
needing like a charging cable.
Yeah. Yeah. But it should, I mean, you should, to get to the gold tier, you should have to pay. I mean, that's just the reality of the game, right? And there should be rewards commiserate to that, but there should be something in between where you've grinded, you've done your thing, maybe you spent a little bit, and there's options for you that feel rewarding.
People love
options. That's the big thing. At the end of the day, when I get to the end of this event, I'm going to remember the Rock's presidential campaign event as a dud because the prize wall was nothing for me.
I think this was a midweek. This is a spend event. To me, this feels like it's this, these things happen. They're part of the game. They're part of the game.
Yes. I just want to see it grow and do better and attract new players. And that's what we're seeing. But anyways, enough chatter on that. The WWE ties is calling us once you want to transition there.
Yeah, no, it sure is. So I brought up in the beginning of the show, hey, if you're just joining us for this segment, usually we splice this part out and talk about WWE TV. I want to know what in the world. I want to know what love is.
Oh, see, we were on different songs. I was doing I want to know.
Oh, have you ever seen? Oh, I thought you were going to say, have you ever seen The Rain? Have you ever seen The Rain?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know the lyrics to it, but we're not supposed to sing in this segment. We get in trouble for me singing, especially people are like, please stop. That's horrifying. So back to WWE TV.
So what is wrong with the tag division? Why have they ruined tag team wrestling at every level of WWE? Let me first say this. There's going to be some spoilers included in this section. If you haven't watched the most recent NXT, the finals of the Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic pitted two teams that were not tag teams against one another. You had Carmelo and big guy, what's his name? I don't want to say
Don't
the
watch
wrong.
NXT.
So you have like little guy, big guy. They're both incredible superstars, and then you
Okay.
have Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin,
Happy Corbin.
on the other team,
Right.
and they're all four solo superstars that have
Right.
very their career is on the rise. These are, not only are they not a tag team, they're not going to be in NXT much longer.
Yeah.
And that's the finals of the tag team tournament.
Interesting.
Are you kidding me? Then you have infinite number of tag teams that are up in the main roster, only to have the tag belts unified and then to be placed on the waists of not a tag team, but two solo superstars, Damian Priest and Finn Balor.
Well, they kind of became a tag. I mean,
Who won it? They won it
when they
from
won it.
Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who were not a tag team.
Right.
Who won it from Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes, who were not a tag team.
A tag team. Right. No, I agree with you.
What is wrong with good old fashioned? We've got a gimmick. We wear matching unitards and we wrestle in the same, mindset as if we are one body, right? Tell me about the state of tag team wrestling, Lee.
Well, it goes back to another We Don't Talk About Bruno situation, a previous booker who ran the company for something like 40 years. I don't know. It's hard to remember. Famously did not like tag team wrestling. In fact,
Trick Williams was Carmelo Hayes's partner. And the reason I did not say his name is because it was a name of an opposing company's.
Same. Yeah.
I was like, I think his name is, and so maybe I swerved around the answer there.
The answer,
but his name is Trick Williams.
No. Anyway, that famous, infamous booker did not like tag team wrestling, and the comment that was famously made was, "Why would I pay two people for one match?" Or four people for one match when I could pay two people, like I could pay singles, basically. So it was a financial thing. Whatever reason, did not like tag team wrestling, which is surprising because in the 80s, some of the best tag team wrestling, 90s, then, I mean, again, like Road Dogg and Billy started out as separate, and then they did become. So, I mean, these unions can become, but the reality was Road Dogg and Billy, as much as they tried, were never going to be the top tier single superstars, right?
That's right. That's right.
They were these guys who fit really well as, oh man, they are a really, really good tag team. And that, I hope, will change under the new regimes, but as of yet, it doesn't seem to. For me, the biggest miss is either unify the belts, and I mean,
make one strap. Yes, one new strap. And they've done that with other titles now. With the Universal title, only has Universal one strap now.
Heavyweight WWE Tag Team Championship of the world.
Heyman's not bringing out two belts the way he used to. It's just one. It's the one new gold
one. Yes. So they need to either unify them or separate them. Like I don't mind having two, especially when the roster is so deep on tag teams. I mean, they did that fatal four-way on Raw, and I was sitting there going, oh my goodness, I could see any of these guys, plus we'll get back to Montez and Dawkins, right? The Street Profits. Like, there are a dozen tag teams that right now should be the tag team champions. Like right in this instance.
Creed brothers are so stinking talented. They are in ring probably the top talent as far as in the tag division. What they can do is so impressive. They're so strong. They're so agile and fast, and they can do top rope. I mean, they are aerialist with the strength of powerhouses. It's crazy. They don't really have a gimmick. Like, this would be like in my perfect world, like Kurt Angle would return, and this would be Team Angle.
This would be the Team He-Man. Oh,
would be the Olympic like heroes, and Ivy Nile would be this. I mean, just make her look like one of the American Gladiators, in the 80s.
She kind of does.
And like, these guys would be so over with what they can do in the ring. Yeah.
Yep. I every time I'm guessing it's Brutus. I don't know the names really, but the bigger guy, that when they do their tag team finisher and take him up and he does the cannonball into them, he always lands so wrong on the other person. Like he's going to end careers with that move, and I can't stand it. I cannot stand it.
And let's hope that never they're going to iron that out.
Speaking into existence.
Yeah, I was saying, let's hope that gets ironed out quickly, and that I'm sure they're addressing it. But again, you've got this thing of at least the Creed brothers wear matching tights and have one concept. At least they are a team, right? You have an injury, I think, is preventing the Viking Raiders from being a team. That makes sense. But you have Alpha Academy, who is a team with a name and matching gimmick and a concept, and yet they don't wrestle as tag competitors. You see Otis taking on other big feats of strength, and you see Gable kind of doing the marathon match and putting on a heck of a show. And what? And they're a comedy act with Tozawa, and they're like the most like they're killing tag team wrestling, and I think they know it. I think they know it. It doesn't make sense. And then the Street Profits are wearing suits and not competing, and they're basically
barely not showing up.
And now suddenly they're face again. They turn. I mean, like, yeah, it's so strange. It's so and I don't understand why. Now, some of Triple H's guys, like DIY, is back competing as DIY. Gargano and Ciampa are not separate anymore.
And I'm in. I like them.
But they're not interesting. They don't have a story. They don't have a concept. Now, at least thankfully Imperium has a concept and a story and an angle they're working from. So you got this thing now where the best in-ring talent is uninteresting, and the interesting people have no means to actually represent the division in advance in it.
Yep. Agreed. For both men and women, they need to figure out the tag team. And to me, the tag team, even growing up, the Intercontinental title, and I know I'm sorry, but the Intercontinental title wasn't that big of a deal to me, but the tag team belts were. Like, it was, you had the main event guy, you had your Hulk Hogan, you had your Nacho Man, you had your, your top tier echelon Ultimate Warriors and Undertaker, Stone Cold Steve Austin's, The Rocks. But then you had the Legion of Doom, and they were
Demolition
or even the Bushwhackers, the Rockers, the Hart Foundation.
Do you remember one of my favorites was Power and Glory?
Power and Glory, Hercules
with the Warlord and that mask he wore. He was terrifying.
Yeah, that was Warrior. Power and Glory were Hercules and I can't remember the other guy's name. Put it in the comment section. But then the Warlord and the Barbarian were the ones you're thinking of.
What were they called? Maybe they didn't have a name. I'll look them up.
Sure.
While you keep talking.
Sure. And Mr. Fuji was their manager. And managers are another thing aside from Paul Heyman that they just haven't done well in the last several years. But it just creates variety, and variety is the spice of life. If every match is a singles match, eventually you just run out of
people. They were called the Powers of Pain.
Powers of Pain. That's right. Yes. Yeah. Yes, they were so good. The Colossal Connection, even though Andre was, thrown in there and stuff like that. But again, there were these matchups that just worked so well. And it does when it's rare. Like it felt more rare in the
Paul Roma was Hercules'
Paul
partner.
Roma. Yeah, that's right.
Romeo Roma.
Yeah, right. But it was rare that you had, like, the Mega Powers coming together was so big because it was rare. Like, that didn't happen. Now it's almost like, well, Cody, we don't have anything for you right now. So let's see who your tag team partner is going to be. Spin the
Terrible.
wheel. Oh,
Terrible.
yeet.
Terrible. Hey, even the Mega Powers wore matching tights. Even the Mega Powers, okay?
That's
the
true.
two
That's
biggest egos of all time in the locker
Right.
room were willing to wear matching, to have a name, to wear matching outfits, and to have a concept, right? And so, like, if those guys can figure out how to be a tag team, why the heck can't? And in the women's division is even worse. They'll just throw two women together that make
no rhyme or
sense.
reason. Yeah.
Piper Nevin and Chelsea Green. What is that? It was entertaining because of Chelsea.
Right.
And they knew they needed someone to work the match where Chelsea maybe couldn't. But like, be a team, man. Like, have a name. Like the Iconics were a team, right?
Right.
To like the Bella Twins, a team.
Right.
And they can't seem to figure this out with Tegan Knox and Natalia. What the heck are they? Just, it's like this weird.
Just give them a name.
Throw through, make it a salad. Just throw ingredients in a bowl and shake it up and hope it tastes good. And it's like, this is crazy. This is the highest point of wrestling since the Attitude Era. The most popularity. This is the most profitable era in the history of the company, and we can't figure out how to make an entertainer like Chelsea Green like actually have a partner and a concept that works. So we need to just put her with the Scottish girl and wear a kilt and like hope people like it.
Right.
What?
And it's not a knock on Piper Niven, but literally they were like,
she's awesome.
Who's not doing anything right now? Oh,
Piper's
come here.
tremendous in ring, but could they not could they not pair their outfits or something? Give them a name.
Yeah. Well, it's like the Alpha Academy. When they first threw that together, that felt like such a hodgepodge, right? But then they started wearing the matching things, and then they start, then they formed and forged this identity.
Right.
And now, like think back to the Dudleys, the Hardys, and Edge and Christian. Think back to times where the tag teams were defined by these forces, and there are so many of those right now. We could have the new golden era of tag team wrestling in WWE if a few things changed.
The tag team wrestling was really, really good when the Usos and the New Day were at their height of their feud
peaks.
And they can easily be there again. This is not we're not saying that this is so difficult that they're going to have to reconceive what they're doing. We're just saying,
they got the pieces.
Let tag teams do tag team matches and be tag teams, because it's really good when they do. It's a really good product that fans really love, and you'll sell a lot more merchandise and make a lot more money when you do it that way.
Yep. Agreed.
I'm afraid they're going to put Bianca and Jade together and make them a tag team because they don't know what to do with these ladies.
Yeah, where's Jade?
And they deserve better. They deserve better.
Yeah,
they deserve better. These are premium entertainers. They deserve better. And so like this is not just that I long for tag team wrestling. It's that I'm also afraid of the people that are right on the cusp of being premier solo acts getting lumped into whatever the heck Indy Hartwell and Miss Gargano are. Whatever the heck that is, that's a career ruiner.
They were fine,
and they deserve better. They deserve better. But oh gosh,
Rusty,
whatever this pixie princess, like they haven't known what to do with Candice since she got there. Right. And she's one of give her some creative, send her to the ring with DIY. Please retell that story if you need to. I don't know. Something's got to give when it comes to tag teams, because I it's not that I don't care, it's that I care so much, and I just think they're consistently blowing it and
Yep.
botching it and ruining
Yep.
it and getting it wrong show after show after show.
Yep.
One of the most fun things you can do is go to a house show where two tag teams are working the crowd, and you got like
Yeah.
the yay and the boo going on and
Right.
on and on, and you got that one guy, standing on the apron and he's just hyping the crowd and getting them going. Like,
Right.
that's so good.
Right.
It's one of the best ways to engage as a fan at the event in a wrestling match, is to have a
Right.
crowd coach standing on the apron working the match, working the crowd. And the
Yep.
only way you can do that is by a tag team.
Yep. The only other thing I think in all of WWE that would make me more nervous is if, like, say one of the Royal Rumble winners was like, I don't care about winning and going to Mania and finishing stories, and we'll just let archaic people come in and take that main event. And here, you just do that because I don't matter. Nobody cares about me. Here you go.
I think this is a work. I think this is, I read something on Reddit this morning that blew my mind, and it
Yeah.
said that they think this is a work to put Cody over even more, and for him to basically for The Rock to start getting heat as the
Yeah.
person who's trying to take that opportunity, and then for Cody to get basically even more beloved on the hero's journey towards finishing the story. That this is The Rock is being used as an interrupter of the story, right, to actually create even more friction, so that the road to Mania or the road to the title is even more painful for Cody, which you will then find even more gratification for when he does, in fact, finish it. What happens to his career when he raises that belt? Do we stop caring? Does he just lose all, like how many of Cody's fans are like, that was a cool run, glad you got the belt, who's the next big thing?
Yeah.
But
I mean, we've proved with Roman. I mean, granted, heel runs do tend to last better this way, but we've proved with Roman, we could have a new Hulkamania era. We could have an era where Cody runs the top scene. And again, he doesn't have to have a long title run. Give him 2-3 months, give him till SummerSlam with it. But here's the thing for me, and I've said it, but I especially felt it, like this week watching Raw, I had my remote control in my hand, knowing that hi there.
There's not even a thumb when you did that. That was crazy.
I know, it's just this. It's anyway. Don't clip that. So we had this. I had the remote in my hand while I'm watching Raw, and knowing that Seth and Cody were going to come out and talk to each other, waiting so that the second Cody said, "I'm facing you at WrestleMania," I was going to turn off Raw and not watch it, period. Like, be done.
Right.
I mean, that's the and which, again, they've gotten the investment from me. They've made it so emotional that's the point I'm at. But
yeah,
I see this is Blue Tista 2.0 in the worst.
That comparison was actually
way.
made. That, in what I was reading on Reddit this morning about it being a work, they brought up the people writing,
the Yes Man.
Well, basically saying the people writing this story have a very keen memory of Batista, and they want to give the audience a taste of that, enough to draw heat, and then to take it away and not do it. Right. And I thought that was interesting. That's really interesting.
It is interesting. So possible paths forward. Cody goes up against Seth, gets the world consolation belt, and then they unify. This is the words I've heard. They are thinking about unifying the belts, which again goes from, we just created that belt because we need, like, who's next? LA Knight has been standing there busting down the door, and we don't have anything for him because
US title.
Sure.
That's who Knight needs to face at Mania. Mania, Knight versus Logan Paul.
That'd be fine.
Man, those
Yeah.
promos would be smoking hot. They'd be so good.
That
Those
would be good.
promos would be
I'd
lightning
love
in a
it.
bottle,
I'd
right? To
love it.
have, you're
Yeah.
out here talking about your YouTube, and yeah, I mean, it would be so good. It would be
Dummy.
so good, so
It
good.
would be. So, okay, we build that up. But again, back to Seth. Now that, okay, and this is out of their control. CM Punk had
Injured,
an injury.
maybe even
Okay,
before the injury.
this is out of their control. But you've now created a scenario where if Cody doesn't go after Roman's belt, he is the dumbest baby face they've ever had. And if he goes after Seth's belt, he is the dumbest baby. I mean, again, it's just like, if you
There's,
want me to believe in Cody, this is on the line. This is me
today,
going,
potentially, we will know
I
something
know,
today.
I know. Today, so by
Today,
the time you've listened to this, you're going, ha, you didn't even know.
you dumb schmucks. You didn't even know. Yeah. So like today is the Mania press conference where
Yep.
maybe it'll be revealed. I doubt it. I can't
Yeah.
see them doing that. But also I think they want to
Maybe.
lock in the card for Mania to draw interest to Mania. I think they want it
Poster
to.
for Mania.
What's that?
The poster for Mania. We're official
Yeah.
CCs. We're not supposed to say that word.
No, the lineup.
No, the match
Oh
card. I'm
yeah,
joking.
yeah.
It's a
The
joke. Yeah.
card of the night, meaning
Right.
the
Yes, the
event plan, the
matches.
plan of the event. I was like, what is he saying right now?
Sorry, it was stupid. I shouldn't have said
This
it.
guy has wrestling experience. He should know. um, I think they want to lock in to make Mania a draw. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
they want it to be a mystery going into Mania.
Right.
I don't think that's a sell for them.
Right.
And I do think they will reveal something big at Elimination Chamber in Perth regarding The Rock, regarding Mania. So I don't think today on the presser we're gonna get clarity for that.
Yeah.
I don't think that problem's gonna be solved today. In fact, I think
Maybe.
that problem could very much be solved that night at Chamber. But I think
Yeah.
I would not be surprised today if they announced Rollins is too hurt to go, and as an executive decision, we are vacating the title.
Yeah.
And then that title, we're going to have a King of the Ring style tournament leading up to Mania, and its conclusion will be the main event of WrestleMania the first night.
Yeah.
I could totally see it. I could
I
totally
could see
see
that.
today that happening.
I could see that. Or again, so where I almost turned off Raw, where I had my finger on the button to do it, Cody drew me in, right?
Cody
He got
Rhodes.
me going. Actually, I think it was Drew. We talked about this via Discord and stuff. Drew McIntyre, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to love him or hate him right now, because he
I
said
hate him.
everything I'm thinking. Like, he stood in the ring and said the exact words that I wish the bookers of this company were listening to. And I was like, this is my guy. Like, give
Drew
him the world
represents our
heavyweight
inner
title.
monologue, our inner Scottish monologue.
Just a little angry and with a brogue, right? Angry brogue. But
you're going to
so
be the
let's
disappointment to your father. And I was like, oh my
that was so
gosh.
good.
Yeah,
Drew,
it really was
that guy he needs see, and again, Drew should be on that world heavyweight title. That's the way it should go. But
Drew's drawing really good heat right now, but I don't know that he's good for more than just heat. I don't know that he's good. I don't know.
I mean,
that
2020, he held the belt, and
no one watched,
he was
and
the
no one
banner.
cared.
That
and
was
no one,
extenuating circumstances.
No, we had nothing else to do except sit at home and watch wrestling, and we didn't watch it.
Because it was Uncanny Valley crazy stuff. Like, I watched it because it was so empty and weird without fans.
It was horrible.
But that's why he needs that story. But if Cody were to say, okay, see, the one line that screwed me over with this is when he said, I'm coming after your empire. I'm going to break you down. I'm just not doing it at Mania. I was like, oh, come on. That was like Cody said that. I was like, you had everything right there. They still could build to this, but if they did night one, Roman loses the title to Cody, Night 2, he loses the head of the table. And now you have this interesting story of broken Roman who goes away, comes back not the top tier all-conquering hero, but like what they did with Kazuchika Okada years ago, where he won
Bless you.
everything. Wow. Wow.
Gesundheit. Gesundheit,
And
says
then
Gunther.
and then he rose back up to the Rainmaker, right? He was the
I don't
top
know.
guy. He lost
I
everything
don't follow
and
any of
had to
that.
start from the bottom.
I'll
So,
trust you. I'll trust your
all right.
opinion on
All
all
right.
things that happen overseas. This is what I want to know. Okay, how perfect would it have been? Well, it's like I'm fantasy booking, right? A little bit when I say this. So, like, how perfect would it be if Triple H on today's Mania presser said, "I don't know what Cody was saying. I did not give him permission to do that. Like, I as the chief creative officer, the head of this company, he won the Rumble in his match. He pointed, it's set.
He pointed at Roman
to say, like, I don't know what you're trying to pull here, but we got to do what's best for business. Right?
Yeah.
Like, would it like turn the authority dial on Paul Levesque? Let's make a Hunter versus Cody scenario where suddenly he makes his life really complicated and really difficult and plays that heel role to the hero and starts to say, how dare you try to interrupt my WrestleMania
my story.
main event?
This is my story.
Yeah. I'm the game and you're not playing by my rules, or whatever,
brother.
Whatever it is, right? Yeah. Whatever it is that he's saying, like, it would actually be really, really good. It would be really good so. if he said, I did not authorize Cody to bring out The Rock. He went over my head to our new board member at TKO.
Right.
And I'm going to show him what happens when you don't submit to the authority. Like, it would be like, now we got a show. Now we got something worth watching. Give him the old Daniel Bryan, turn the screws on him, like where he has to overcome this great hurdle, know.
Well, let me give you one last reference before we end. What this feels like to me is a long time, like I've watched it since the 80s. So the only other time I remember WrestleMania feeling this off was when Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair were poised to go against each other. And then all of a sudden it was like, now we'll just fight Sid Justice. Like Ric Flair versus Macho Man, all-time great. Don't get me wrong, that was amazing. But it was literally just, boop, here's the plan. And they just went this way. And to this day, I still think as a kid, like, what would have happened if Ric Flair and Hulk Hogan in their peak, in the biggest company in the world, faced each other? And I feel like I have one of those scenarios going on again right now is what if they Sid pooped his pants this one and just go ahead and, an injured Seth Rollins against Cody Rhodes. Drew said everything that I was thinking. You've already beat him 3 times.
Right.
Where's the story in that? You're just going to do it again.
And that's why I don't think we'll get that match. I don't think we'll get that match. But I don't know what the heck match we're going to get.
Maybe that's the booking brilliance.
Yeah. Well, this is the biggest WrestleMania potentially of our lifetime since number 2, probably, right? Hogan, 3, WrestleMania 3.
Hogan Andre. WrestleMania 17 is.
What was 17? What was that? Is that the Houston
X7?
the Astrodome? Is that the Astrodome with
that
Rock
was
Hogan?
TLC 2, Rock Austin.
Rock Austin.
That was Rock Hogan was X18 or I'm sorry, X8. I don't know. They were doing X's at that time, but
what was 14 was the Michaels Stone Cold Tyson as the ref. That was
15, I think.
Iconic match. I love that. Love that main event. And the reason I mention it is because we could be marching towards a Cody versus Roman with The Rock as the special guest referee, and then some insane twist ending that screws Cody over. And now he's joined the bloodline. And, you tried to, man, wouldn't that be insane? He rock bottoms while wearing a ref outfit.
Rock Bottom's Cody. I mean, I could
Yeah,
see them doing something like that. I mean, yeah, but then do we wait another, and it's not a round number WrestleMania, it's WrestleMania 41. Cody finally finished the story. All right,
I
well,
know, I
I don't
know.
know.
Well, let's wrap it up for today.
All right. Thanks for being a part of the WWE Champions Chat podcast. Be sure to check us out on YouTube. And by the way, we are now streaming live on Twitch on the official WWE Champions channel on Twitch on Fridays. So come follow us there. If you don't play this game, you've been watching the wrestling part, you don't know about the game. WWE Champions, better than 2K24. I said it. And let's have fun being a community together, because this thing, it gets us, right? It gets into our souls. I'll see you next time. Bye. I don't know what that was.